Good evening, my name is Dova, and welcome to Walking and Talking in Video Games. Tonight we will be walking through Ark Survival Evolved while I gently talk you to sleep, discussing whatever my ADHD brain decides it wants to think about. I'm so glad you're here, and I want you to know that you are safe here, and I want to thank you for being you. Now, let's get to walking. I have a confession to make. Usually I make these on, well, I guess it's not a confession, just an apology. Usually I make these playing with my controller, but the cord that connects my controller to my computer has, I guess maybe it's fraying on the, I don't know. It's not really working anymore, so we're going to be using the keyboard and mouse, which is all fine and dandy, except it means that my movements for the camera will likely be a lot more jerky. I turned the sensitivity all the way down to help with that, but, well, I usually have it all the way down anyway, but, you know, it's still gonna be not perfect. Also, I apologize that the game looks so ugly. It's because I can't record with the graphics at any decent level, so this is just what it's gonna have to look like. But hopefully you fall asleep and don't have to look at it anyway, and until then, it still looks nice if you don't look too hard. We're on Extinction today. Even with terrible graphics, the city's still beautiful. I made a new character and because it was a new character, she kept leveling up like constantly, so I ended up just giving up and adding full experience, like 1 million experience to my character, and then I just put in a bunch of stuff that I was hoping would help with this, and like health, just in case I fall off. I have God mode on, so it shouldn't even matter anyway, but and then oxygen and weight and fortitude. So we should be okay with anything that might happen. Ooh, I guess we've still got an event going on. Look at those colorful beavers. So pretty. I love this map. I love Ark in general. This is just such a cool map. In here we've got the ruins of a city. This map is set on Earth. The other maps are not set on Earth. They're set on experimental like landscapes that, I don't know, science. But this one's actually set on Earth. And this is supposed to be like a city that used to be, but has been abandoned. And it's super cool, the whole like solarpunk thing with it being overrun with plant life. Ooh. I really like it. But this is the only place that it's green, because as soon as you go outside of this little central city area, because right now we're in the middle of the map, so as soon as you go outside of this area, it's nothing but wasteland, except for 3 specific parts of the map, and that sound that you can hear is the sound of a supply drop. Well, it's I forget what they call them. It's like a crate. Well, it's different from the supply drops on the other maps. I'm sure we'll come across one at some point. But you have to battle for those supply drops. It's really cool. You can get some really good stuff from them too. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the 3 areas that are in the wasteland that aren't just wasteland are a desert area. Here you can see the wasteland from here. We'll make it out there at some point during this, but so there's a desert area out there, a snowy area, and oh, and a forest area that's like underground. Really cool. And each area has its own titan that you can kill or tame. If you tame them, you can use them to fight the king titan, which is a giant boss, super tons of health, super cool. I guess I'll just turn around. Or actually, I guess I'll just drop down because I don't think I can get back up. jeez. Okay. Whee! Megatherium and Parasaur down there. Oh, he's angry. It's a good thing he can't see us. Oh, wait, that Triceratops came out of nowhere. Yikes. Oh. Anyway, oh, I forgot to turn on my, or pull up my random topic generator. But there was one thing I kind of wanted to talk about. Spirituality. So I'm not really sure what I believe these days, but I really like the idea of there being something, like, not necessarily like a god, but like just some kind of force. I don't know, like that we have souls and animals have souls, and the wind is maybe alive in some way. Not alive, but I don't know. It feels hopeless to just acknowledge that there might be nothing, even though I don't feel like there's proof that there is anything. But I like the idea that there's some kind of spirit in the world, something. And that, of course, we should treat nature with respect, and I don't know, I like the idea that the universe is taking care of us or whatever, because it feels a lot more secure than just feeling like we have to fend for ourselves and whatever happens, even if it sucks. It's just life. And I guess that's because I always had Christianity when I was growing up. I'm not Christian anymore, but I always had that to comfort me. Like, everything happens for a reason and blah blah blah. So it's hard to just let go of the comfort of that. But I have a hard time feeling like there's proof that there is anything. But I don't know. I like the idea of there being something at least. But let me pull up the topic generator. Okay, so our first topic is, our first three topics are tennis, toads, and shovels. I guess I'll start with toads. Whenever I was a kid, I was the kid who would go looking for toads every night. Whenever we were playing outside with the neighbors, I would go and pop open those, like where you can read the water meter, because toads would be hiding in there. And so I'd pop them open, grab a toad out, and then just like carry it around. And they would always pee on me, so I would always like hold it underneath the arms and let its legs dangle, which I feel bad about now, but I mean, what are you gonna do, you know? And so I just let its legs dangle, wait for it to pee, and then carry it around after that. It's really weird. It's like they don't have a hole for peeing on the outside of their body, so they just kind of soak themselves, like their skin just, I don't know if you ever see like after a toad pees, the bottom half of it's just kind of soaked as if it's wearing pants and like soaked through the pants. I know it sounds weird, but if you know toads, then you know what I'm talking about. But what was always really cool is toads are a lot easier to find than frogs. So when we would find frogs, they were all slimy and gross, but super cool. Anything, or like house geckos that would hang out on the houses. What else? What else? I mean, it was mostly reptiles and amphibians. I lived on a golf course, and there were bullfrogs that would sit and croak around the ponds, like the little lakes on the golf course. Also, somebody released piranha lookalikes into the lakes by the golf course. They weren't actual piranhas, but they sure looked like them, but they didn't have the teeth. They were some like a copycat piranha fish. And we would go fishing, and then there would be perch in the ponds, and then those copycat piranhas for a little while. And it was kind of crazy. I loved fishing in that lake because there were so many fish in such a small lake that they actually would bite frequently. So you could always catch something. Like, we would go out for a couple hours and catch like 8 fish. It was awesome. Most fishing experiences are not like that. And of course, we would always throw them back. But the fun part, so maybe it was the same fish every time, who knows? But the fun part was just catching them, feeling it pull on your line and reeling it in. It was awesome. Fishing is not usually like that. Well, that part, yes, but finding fish like one after another like that, that we were lucky to have that experience as kids. What else? Tennis. Whenever I was a kid, my mom won. So there was like a silent auction at some event she was at. And so for $15, what does that sound? I don't know what that sound is. For $15, she won me a week at a tennis camp. It was like a day camp. You didn't spend the night there. But that was an insane deal. And it wasn't even like something that I had asked for or anything like that. But I mean, for $15, sure, go for the experience. So I did. And it was kind of interesting. If you were like good or, did good things, whatever, brought a friend, even, whatever, they would hand out gold $1 coins as like a reward, which I feel like, are $1 coins still worth $1, or are they worth more now? Because it's not like they make them still, right? So I don't know, it's kind of a crazy prize. I don't even know if I still have them. I feel like I do somewhere, I don't know. But I have a couple of 50-cent coins, those like huge 50-cent coins. But yeah, tennis camp. I don't actually have a lot to say about it. My swing sucked, my backhand sucked, my front hand sucked. And I don't think they got that much better over that week. But the coaches were cool. I didn't really make any friends there. I don't know. I wasn't as a kid very good at making friends, like at school or anything else. It's such a pretty circle. I don't know. I just like couldn't go up to. I was very introverted, very shy. I couldn't just go up to people and like start talking to them and hang out with them. I had to have an extrovert adopt me, which happened a couple of times in school, but not at that tennis camp. So, can anyone relate to that experience? I feel like it's just kind of an introvert thing. Like, we only become friends with other people by either an extrovert adopting us or like shared experience with an introvert, like, I don't know, you both make a quiet comment about how you don't want to be there and then you just kind of bond over that. Stuff like that. So yeah, that was tennis camp. They had a pool too, which felt super good at the end of the day. Hot Texas summer. It was nice to be able to escape that. Our last topic is shovels. I don't think I have anything to say about shovels. I've had something to say about every topic so far. Let me think. I don't have that much experience with shovels, I guess. Let me try some new topics. Okay, now we have books, alligators, and Napoleon. I don't have anything to say about Napoleon. I got that topic in my last Walking and Talking, which was a Skyrim video. I don't have anything to say about Napoleon. Books. I used to be a reader whenever I was in like elementary school and middle school, a little bit high school, but I think that reading books for school kind of ruined my enjoyment of reading. And, well, plus the fact that I just have a hard time finding books that I really enjoy nowadays. Like, there's not much that really catches my attention and, like, holds it and is worth my time. So I just don't really read much nowadays. And I mean, reading's cool, reading's nice and peaceful, and it's a good hobby to have. I just don't find myself, if I do read, I'm just rereading something that I've read before. And that's kind of how it is for me with shows too. I kind of just rewatch what I know because I know I enjoyed it, and I don't like wasting my time on shows that I don't enjoy. So I just end up watching something that I previously enjoyed so that I know at least I'll have a good time and not waste my time. Of course, it means that I don't often end up experiencing new shows, but I mean, sometimes I do. Like right now I'm watching Solo Leveling. I'm about halfway through, and I know everyone really loves it. It's not as good as I was expecting based on what I've heard about it, but and that's not to, if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it and I'm offending you, I'm sorry. If you haven't seen it, don't let me put you off of it because you might really like it. A lot of people do. But it's kind of like Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it's just an alright show. Like it's not bad, but it's not outstanding. But a lot of people really love it, and that's how I feel about Solo Leveling. I feel like, I don't know, the fighting's pretty cool, the art's pretty nice. I just feel like the story, all the story really is right now is he's just doing things to level up, and that's kind of it. Just new, different experiences, different monsters, whatever. He narrowly escapes death every few episodes. It just doesn't feel that enthralling to me. But I can't really get into shows where the focus is on the fighting rather than the narrative. I have to have a good narrative in my stories, which is just a personal preference, and there are fighting shows with good narratives, but I don't know, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm enjoying it, just not loving it, you know? I really loved Hunter x Hunter. I feel like that had a great narrative and and yes, it was focused on them like trying to get stronger and building their powers and things like that, but that wasn't the only focus, and there was so much other stuff going on, and like they learned so many things. They got into tough situations and had to really think their way out rather than just fighting better. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain why I liked Hunter x Hunter so much more, but I just think it was a lot better. Or, well, it's like, I don't know. Things like that make the difference for me. And like I said, I think that Solo Leveling is alright and it's worth continuing to watch, but I'm just a little disappointed based on what I had heard about it. But that's okay. Let's see, what else? Alligators. What is there to say about alligators? If you know what a caiman is, like a dwarf caiman, is like a little alligator crocodile type reptile. Well, little as in compared to alligators and crocodiles, but I think it would be super cool to have one of those as a pet. They're adorable as babies. So freaking cute. A little scary, but so cute. And you have to... Oh dear. This poor guy. Ooh. You have to have a pretty big enclosure for them, because basically, like, if you can have a pond in your backyard, that's the kind of enclosure that they need, because they need like a, because they're pretty big and they need lots of space. But so I probably won't ever end up owning one, but I think they're cool. I think having one would be cool, but I don't want to have a pet just for the sake of having a pet. So, you know, like, I love the ferrets because I can enjoy them. Like, I can play with them and take care of them and give them an awesome life, and that makes me happy. But as far as reptiles or anything like that, that's why I don't really like fish as so much, because I can't interact with them. And yeah, you can still give them a cool life, but I just don't get as much enjoyment out of it. I do have a bearded dragon who does love coming out of his cage, but I also have a snake who doesn't love coming out of her, well, she would come out of her cage on her own if I gave her the opportunity, but she doesn't like being taken out. She doesn't like being handled. So she, while I can handle her, she is a little more of a look, don't touch kind of pet. But, you know, I still try to give her a good life. I recently redid her tank, and I guess she likes it because she's been using the new hides and climbing things that I've added, so that makes me happy. But I'm glad that I can help give her a cool life. She's got a massive tank. She's got a 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot tank, and it's 4 feet tall, then 4 feet long and 2 feet wide, so that she has space, because she's a Brazilian rainbow boa. Whoa, I don't think I've ever noticed this before. This is cool. It's like a glass sword looking. But yeah, so she's a semi-arboreal species, which means she likes to climb sometimes. So I offered her the experience of getting to climb sometimes. Gosh, this Tapahara looks awful. The hair on its back looks good, or feathers or whatever they are, but the skin is super smooth. Man, I'm sorry guys. I wish this looked better. One day I'll get a better graphics card and be able to make these look a little more visually appealing. What else? Let me think. Oh, okay, I'm a little off my game today, so this will probably be a shorter video, but I pulled up my list of stories. Let me go ahead and start with some kindergarten stories. So, I don't have a whole lot to say about this, but both of my teachers in both my teachers in kindergarten had, and I'll explain in a minute why I had 2 teachers, because we didn't do like classroom switching at that age, but they had food names. So one of my teachers, my first teacher, was named Mrs. Peel, and I associate that with food because, like, orange peel, banana peel. By the way, we're in the wasteland now. Welcome. So orange peel, banana peel. Yeah, so her name was Mrs. Peel, and then when I got switched to a different teacher, her name was Mrs. Burger. And I feel like teachers with food names are perfect for kindergarten. Except, moving on to the reason I got switched, Mrs. Peel wasn't perfect for kindergarten because she left me alone twice. Because there were 2 instances in which I went to the restroom and the entire class left before I got out. They went, at least one of the times, they went to gym. I remember that. I don't remember about the other time for sure. Maybe lunch or something. I don't know. But And according to my mom, the second time that it happened, they... Oh, poor little guy. The second time that happened, she blamed me for it. And like, I don't know how you're gonna blame a 5-year-old for you leaving them behind, but whatever. So, look at this pretty turquoise water. So, yeah, that's why I got switched, because after the second time my mom, like, talked to the school and was like, she needs a different teacher, because this is ridiculous. She's 5 and can't be left by herself in the classroom. But apparently I was a good little kid and just... Whoa, look at the bubbles. And just, like, cleaned up the classroom whenever... while they were gone. At least the first time. I feel like I remember crying one of the times at least. But I don't know. Let's see, what else? Oh, there was this kid in kindergarten who was in my class, and I remember this one time in the lunchroom, I was walking by with my lunch tray, and he stops me and he goes, "Hey, I have to tell you, I have a crush on you." And I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know what a crush was, so I just go, "Okay." And then we kept walking. That poor kid was probably heartbroken after that. But I didn't know what it meant. I don't even think I had my first crush until 2nd grade. I remember him too. We were in the same class from 2nd grade to 5th grade. And I had a crush on him the whole time. Let me take that. Oh, gas bags. I wish I could ride them around. They're so fun. But yeah, so that's how I unknowingly caused my first heartbreak. Oops. What else? Oh, also this weird thing that they would do at the school that I only went to that school for 1 year because we moved the next year. But like at lunch, they would, if your parents brought your food, like brought you like McDonald's or something for lunch, then you'd have to sit at a different table all by yourself. And looking back, it seems like a punishment. I assume it was so that the other kids wouldn't get jealous of your food, but like, why would they do that? Because it's not like my parents were there eating with me. I remember a day when my mom brought me McDonald's and it had a little Hello Kitty hula hooping toy in it, and I had to sit on the other side of the cafeteria at an empty table, like separate, like a few seats down from the next person whose parents brought them food, and just eat my lunch all by myself. And that's so sad, and I hope they've changed that. I don't even remember if I had any friends in kindergarten. Like, I don't remember anyone from kindergarten. I guess I've always been a bit of a loner. But I don't know, like, I can make friends pretty easily now. Only if I want to. If I'm not feeling it, then I just... I think I just started this element vein. With these, it's like a wave of dinosaurs that will come and attack the veins, and then you have to try to protect them, and if you do, then there's like a crack in the ground. If you can protect them, oh, yep, there it is, then you can harvest them at the end. But I am not going to do that right now. So yeah, it's so awful to separate kids just because their parents brought them food. Like, what the heck? Oh, I remember what I was saying. Yeah, I can make friends pretty easily if I am trying, but like, I just don't often have the energy. Like, I don't know, I guess I can mask and play whatever part I need to play in order to make someone like me. as soon as I've got something that I know about them, I can kind of latch onto that and like branch out. Like, say someone tells me they're allergic to peanuts, and then I tell them about my elementary school crush that was allergic to peanuts, and jeez, this game is so loud. Tell them about my elementary school crush that's allergic to peanuts. And what? Oh, I guess they destroyed it. Wow, I've never seen them destroy one. Dang. Anyway, so yeah, and then I like tell them the goofy story about how one day my mom packed me peanut butter crackers for lunch, and I didn't want my crush to see that I had peanut butter crackers because, you know, if he got sick, I didn't want him to know it was because of me. So I was like eating them, hiding behind the lid of my lunchbox, and he saw me, and he started doing the same thing to like poke fun at me, because it was a mutual crush. He liked me too, so, you know, he was like the cute kind of making fun of each, or make him making fun of me, but I was just embarrassed. I wonder what he's up to nowadays. But yeah, so that's some of my elementary school experiences. Let me think. Middle school. I also didn't have many friends in middle school. I was in band, yet somehow that didn't... I mean, I had a couple of friends from like my same... who played the same instrument as me. We played the French horn. But a couple of them were like in 8th grade when I was in 7th grade, and so they had their own friends, and then of course they left the next year. And then the people who were in my year who played my instrument were all boys, and like I was like friendly with, well, we were friends I guess, but not super deeply friends. Just kind of hung out whenever we were at band stuff. And then one of the guys that was in my section who played that instrument with me, he was in football, so you know, he had his football friends, and I had a crush on him for a little bit, I think, but he totally had a crush on me. But he didn't end up carrying on to high school playing that instrument, but a couple of other people from our section did. Oh, seeing the raptor without its feathers is weird. And its tail. Yikes. Oh, that's a supply drop. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. That smoke plume is where a supply drop just fell. Over in that direction. Let's see if we can go find it. Oh, it fell. So many pretty dinosaurs for the Easter event. I love this map. I've had a lot of good experiences playing with friends on it, doing the drops and I keep wanting to say element veins, which give you some good stuff that you need for, because what we would do is come to this map. I never had like a base on this map, but we would come to this map and do the drops and veins and with our dinos that we had brought from other maps, and then take all the good stuff that we'd get from it back to our map, which usually we just mained on the island, because in our main server, our main base was on the island. But I really like doing the drops. You just have to get a good army of dinos going. And our server was a little bit boosted, not crazy boosted, but a little bit boosted, so that helped. We didn't lose so many dinos. Although I do remember this awful experience where somebody had given me a Giga, which, if you're not familiar with this game, Giganotosaurus is one of the most powerful dinos. You can't use it for bosses, but you can use, because they're too big, but you can use them in situations like this. And So someone had given me a Giga, and I was using it for a purple drop, which is the most powerful, or not, well, not, the dinos that come in the waves with the purple drop are the most powerful. Oh, this one's a blue drop. It's starting because I'm close enough. So what's going to happen here is, in a bit, dinos are going to start attacking the force field. You can manually bring the force field down, but I don't really know why you'd do that. I guess just to make the process go faster if you're confident that you can overpower them. I don't see them yet. Oh, but anyway, so the problem with the Gigas is what is he eating? Oh. With the Gigas, if they take too much damage, they go into rage mode and they kick you off and they will attack anything on site, including you. And so that happened with my Giga, and I couldn't get her back. She died, and she was my only one. So that was heartbreaking. It really sucks in this game when you lose a dino, you just lose it forever. Oh, there, we finally got a dino that's attacking the force field. I think there are only a couple. I think this is wave 0. It only has a couple of dinosaurs that attack. Oh, Dilophosaurus. Ugly. And stuck. Let's move on. It's gonna be a while before he breaks through that force field. Oh, wait. Oh, no, yeah. Thought I was being corrected there for a minute. And we're on the other side. So yeah, this is a blue drop. It's like medium difficulty, I think. But you can get some really good stuff out of these drops. You just have to... Oh, it's called an orbital supply drop. I finally remembered. But you have to... If you want the good stuff from the higher level drops, you have to have a really good team of dinos to attack or to defend it. The best dinos, now that the Carcharodontosaurus has come out, the best dinos that you can use for them, in my opinion, or well, I don't even know its opinion, but best dinos are the Carchars because they don't rage, and the more that they kill, the faster and more powerful they get. So as you keep gaining stacks of like kills with the waves as they keep coming, and then you can just inflict some insane power and run around insanely fast on their backs. It's awesome. Be cool if you could tame the corrupted dinosaurs, like that Rex over there. Oh, I think... Did they break through, or did it go away? I think the drop went away. Because once it starts, if you walk out of range, it'll just disappear. So you have to be careful, because sometimes whenever dinos are coming to attack them, they get stuck on other things, and so in the wave, unless there's only like one dino left, the wave won't end until you kill all the dinos. And if there's a dino stuck and you can't find them, you have to go looking around rocks and stuff to see if they just got stuck on something. But if you wander too far, then the drop will end. So usually what we would do is have, like, because I would usually be doing it with at least one other person, we would have one person wait by the drop, and then the other person would go looking, person or people would go looking around for the stuck dino. Sometimes you never find it, and then that really sucks. Why am I swimming? There's nothing here. I guess there is. Maybe it's the graphics are so low I can't see the water. Yeah, I guess. Dirty water. Wonder if we'll find some corrupted gigas around here. That'd be cool. I'll keep heading toward the... I think that's the desert to show you. And all these dinosaurs, they're all fighting. None of them are just walking around peacefully, except for that, Carno. Man, I've put so many hours into this game. Uh-oh. Maybe in one of these I will, instead of a walking and talking, I'll do a flying and talking and just get on the back of a griffin or something and soar through the sky. I love flying on griffins. They're so fun. They're so maneuverable. Like, I like them better than snow owls because snow owls can glide too, but griffins, you can go side to side and backwards. And I feel like it's easier to, maybe not easier to get them to glide, but like, I don't know, it feels like you can go farther with them. But definitely the maneuverability in the air, I just find to be a lot better. How do I get in there without having to go over this? Through here? No. No. Sorry if it's being laggy. I'm looking over at my recording right now and seems like a couple of times it got kind of laggy. Let's see. Oh my gosh, the city. Looks like it's made of putty. It's looking a little better now. It rendered in a little bit, but how do I get in here? Maybe I have to go over, or maybe this is... Nope. I don't know. We're just gonna figure it out, I guess. What is this structure? Let's see. I've totally wandered away from the desert area, but we'll get back there. When I do these types of videos in Ark, there's a lot more editing that I have to do than the Skyrim ones because there's constant like dinosaurs fighting around me that I have to lower the volume of and things like that, and like the music that plays every time it becomes like 5 a.m., 12 p.m. And then whatever time the sun goes down, I forget. Oh, is this my way in? This might be my way in. But it just gets so loud like randomly, so I can't make the whole volume quiet or you won't be able to hear the regular ambient sounds and then it'll just be boring, but then I have to go in and quiet down all of the fighting and other random sounds. That's worth it though. I like making these in Ark because I think it's such a pretty game and there's so much to see. So many maps too. It's so colorful, especially when there's events going on and the dinos are all bright and green like that one. I like when they have the green and orange mix because then it looks like a thermal, especially when they have blue too. like green, blue, and red, or orange. Here we go. Okay, and here's where, right now you can see the wasteland, but whenever we move into the desert, suddenly, it's all desert. But it's not. Pretty cool, huh? So then once you enter these bubbles, it makes it seem like everything around you is just that. And then here we've got some map exclusive dinosaurs like that Volanosaur over there, which shoots, I don't know, pellets, spikes, it shoots like a machine gun, but I don't know what it shoots. Maybe spikes, it's covered in spikes. But they're pretty cool little dinos. If you have them set in turret mode to guard your base, and they act like, well, turrets. Here's where you can fight the desert titan. Somewhere around here there's a cave that leads down to the spawn point, or where you can summon it. I don't know where, I think it actually spawns like out here, but you have to go down into a cave to get to the terminal. Yeah, pretty cool. Oh, was that a geyser? Interesting. Okay, so I just stepped away for a minute to eat, and I completely forgot what I was saying before I left. But I have another story from kindergarten. So I was like a little menace with a super short temper whenever I was in kindergarten, or whenever I was young. And I got a couple of, like, so they didn't give us grades in kindergarten, they gave us behavior reports, and I got a couple of, like, the worst, grade that you could get, which was, it was either N for needs improvement or U for unsatisfactory. I think U was the worst. But, so the first time it happened was because there was this girl that, for some reason, from the bus all the way until we got into the classroom, we would fight. And I don't know why, but it was always like physical. Like we would be hitting each other and just beating each other. I don't know why. But there was this one day, I had just had it. I had had enough. And I reached up to this girl's neck. And I put my hands around her neck, but I didn't squeeze. I just wanted to scare her. And it worked. She was terrified. But the teacher saw that and I got in huge trouble. So that happened. And I whip out that story every once in a while to show people how much of a terror I was whenever I was a kid. And then there was this other time, this one I didn't even actually do, but this girl who would always bully me in kindergarten, but like she bullied me relentlessly, but I never stood for it. Like I never stood by, I just let her bully me. Like I would fight back. But this one time I did not do this, but she accused me of biting her. I did not, but I got in trouble for it anyway because it was just her word against mine, and I'm sure the teacher saw us like yelling at each other or something. So I got another oh my gosh, I just went flying. Oh. But yeah, so I got another bad report for that. But that sucked, because I'll own the fact that I put my hands around that girl's neck and nearly choked her, but the biting, I did not do that. Also in kindergarten, we would run around, oh no, this wasn't kindergarten, this was some other time in elementary school. We would run around, the playground and catch love bugs whenever, because like, you know, love bug season in the spring, those little nasties would fly around. And you know, they'd be everywhere and they're super easy to catch. So my friends and I would just catch a bunch, and then like in one year I had a ladybug keeper, so you could like order the ladybug habitat online and then order the ladybugs and then keep them in the habitat. And once the ladybugs died, I filled it with love bugs, and oh my gosh, I put so many in there, and they obviously did not survive, but they that thing smelled so bad. It was full of, the love bugs were stuck to like the plastic, like the see-through plastic, and the plastic of like the ground of the habitat. They were just ugh. It was trash after that. What? You can see the dinos through the sand and the rocks. Huh. Yeah, so that was that. Also, in elementary school, we had this exchange student from England, and that was whenever I learned that they called erasers rubbers, and is that supposed to be happening? The glitchy, because it's in hexagons, so I'm thinking maybe it's supposed to be like that. I don't know. But yeah, so things like that. Everyone loved her accent, but I feel like she felt like we were making fun of her because we just kept repeating things that she said and asking her to say other things. That poor girl. Poor girl. But I mean, accents are cool. English accent is definitely a pretty good one. Depending on who's speaking in it, I guess. I've met a lot of people with cool accents over the years, especially in like recent years. One of my best friends is from South Africa, and he's got a very unique accent, but it's really funny to hear him like imitating an American accent because his South African accent is still peeking through a lot. And so he sounds really funny. But who else? I met someone recently who's from Finland. His accent, I feel like his accent isn't super strong, which is probably good because I have a hard time understanding strong accents a lot of the time. But I can understand him pretty easily. Also, I found out from him that in Finland, they roll their R's like they do with Spanish, like speaking countries. So I didn't know that other countries did that. What else? I met several people from England. I have a friend who was born and raised in Germany and moved here for college, but he learned English off of American media. So he speaks with a perfect American accent. You'd never know he was from Germany. You'd think he was born and raised here. So that's kind of wild. Oh. What else? I feel like there's at least one or two other places that I'm forgetting that I have met people from, or like in recent years have become friends with people from, but because I've traveled to like England, or well, yes, England, but that's not what I meant to say. Italy and Austria and stuff, but outside of our tour guide, who I, don't talk to anymore, I don't know anyone from there, so I don't really count that. Although our tour guide, he had a really pretty accent. And I definitely thought that, the Italian accent where you add an A to the end of everything, like, hello, my name is Dove. Well, that doesn't help much because my name, it does end in an A, but you know what I mean. Sorry if that was like, that was terrible. But, like the Mario accent, I guess. I thought that was a caricature, like nobody actually speaks like that. Turns out some of them do. Not all of them, but some do. And I learned that when we were in Italy on a school trip years ago. It was like 10 years ago now. Yeah, these dinos need to chill out, quiet down. I still haven't found the cave that I was looking for, but I feel like it's on the outside here somewhere. There's a city terminal. I think you can teleport out from those. Like onto other maps. I feel like it was one of these, maybe, that had the cave in it. I'd like to find it so I can at least walk down there a little bit, but I don't remember where it was. These dinos are so pretty. The hexagon thing is really throwing me off. It seems intentional, but I don't really know why it would be. It just seems, well, maybe because it's trying to show that these rocks and stuff are artificially generated, but if that were true, I'd be able to walk right through them, right? I don't know. It's getting kind of dark now. Also, if you're not familiar with this map, if you walk past those glowing red things, you die. It's not like other maps where there's an invisible barrier to keep you in. This one, because it's meant to be like Earth instead of a map that was created artificially, it doesn't have boundaries like that. So the boundaries are just those. It acts kind of like an invisible fence where like the implant in your arm explodes whenever you walk past. Kind of wild. Kind of scary. Let me see. I'd like to find it before I end the recording. Maybe it's over there with that structure, whatever it is. If we don't find it today, we can always find it another time. Because we also have to see the snow and forest biomes. We'll need time to get to those. So that's okay. It's actually raining in the desert. It's very pretty. Even the desert. And it's a very pretty map. One day I'll go through and actually beat all of the maps by myself. I've fought at least like half the bosses, but never by myself with like only my own raised dinos. So one day I would like to do that. I just have more fun whenever I'm playing with a tribe mate, but the few times that I have, we just never got around to that. But I want to go through and beat them all in order one of these days. That would be cool. There's an Acrosaurus. Lots of crystals. He's pretty big, huh? I just want to figure out what's over here. Okay, let me think. Let me think if there are any other stories from elementary school that I could tell you. Mm, this one time I found out that my friend was rich because she had 2 DSIs. That, like, such a funny revelation as a kid when I was inside her, like, massive house, but I didn't realize she was rich until she had 2 DSs. And so we played Cookie Mama together on them. And then in high school, she ended up dating my ex, and I think they got married, which is crazy. I mean, good for them. I mean, I haven't. When that happened, like when they started dating, I hadn't talked to her in years, so it's not like she was betraying me or anything. But I think there's so much. When it comes to like dating the ex of a person that you know, there's so much you have to think about. Like, is this going to hurt them? How long were those 2 people apart? How close am I to this friend? How serious were that friend and the ex? I think generally it's just a very uncomfortable situation. Even with that girl, like, we hadn't talked in years. I didn't care. And the ex and I hadn't been together that long, and I didn't care about him. But, like, making eye contact in the hallway became way more awkward after that. I don't know. On the one hand, like, you don't know how the relationship with that person is going to turn out, so is it worth ruining a friendship over? Potentially. But then on the other hand, even friendships don't last forever most of the time. And what if you end up happy and spending the rest of your life with that person? Is it always going to weigh on you that you were with your friend's ex? Like, that this is your friend's ex? I don't know. It's just an interesting situation, and I finally found the cave. We'll go ahead and explore it a bit. It's a lot bigger than I remembered. Ooh, he's pretty. Caves are the worst. There's so much opportunity to get absolutely destroyed and lose all your stuff because you can't get back to it because you was so deep in the cave. I hope the recording is not as laggy as it's looking on the screen. Maybe this is a good place to stop, because if it is that laggy, it wouldn't be worth watching. But we can always continue it another time. I hope that you've had a good experience. I hope I've been able to talk you to sleep. I know tonight's video was a bit of a short one, and I apologize for that. But I hope you have a wonderful night, and that you get some good rest. Good night.